Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another crochet and chat video. Today I actually have a project you guys haven't seen yet. It's another baby blanket and it is in next week's video that you guys will see me working on it and everything, but I'm gonna be just working on weaving in ends while I chat with you guys today because I've been avoiding weaving in the ends on this and I'm getting really close to being done with this blanket. So we're gonna weave in ends while I'm yapping because hopefully that distracts me from how much I hate weaving in ends. Today's topic, I'm trying to make a little bit like lighthearted while also being like truthful and everything. But basically I just want to talk about kind of becoming someone that I can rely on even when life is not going as expected, and even if that doesn't mean things look perfect and like I have everything together. I'll be honest, when I was planning out like my crochet and chat video for this month, I was really hoping based on last month that I'd be coming on here and like talking about how like, I have everything together and I'm back in all my routines and life is looking perfect and everything, and just basically I was setting my expectations way too high, and I have to remember that this is reality and that is not it's not how it goes in the real world. So we're just going to talk about what it really means to become someone that you can rely on and to be there for yourself and support yourself. And we'll kind of talk about how this last month has gone not as I expected, but we'll get into it. First I'm going to show you my new hyperfixation drink. I don't know why. I honestly was craving a Shirley Temple, and I think it's 7-Up that makes the Shirley Temple drink. I've not been able to find it. I honestly have only looked at one store around me, but I have not been able to find it for the last month. Every time I go on, it says they have it in stock, and then when I get there, it says they don't have it in stock. So I feel like I'm losing my mind, but I found this that obviously is not a Shirley Temple, but it's giving me like an essence of something similar, which it's just a cherry ginger ale, and this is for some reason been my new hyperfixation, and I have like not one a night, but when I'm feeling like I need something sweet to drink, this is what I've been going for, which is weird because I'm not really like a pop drinker, soda drinker, whatever the heck you want to call it, and this is what I've been craving. So I'm gonna open this up for me. I'm gonna open this up for me to sip on while I talk. I'm losing my voice already. This is not a good sign. Okay, that was probably very obnoxious and loud. I'm sorry. Also, I got myself the mini cans because I don't know, I just think they're cute. This actually screams like Christmas. It's like red and green. I hope you can't hear that sizzling the whole time. That'd be so funny. Okay, I should probably get myself set up here too while we're chatting, because we're gonna be trying to weave in some ends as we chat. So yeah, today I would love to talk about kind of what it means to show up for yourself, and not in like a perfect little fairy tale world, but I want to be like much more real and, you know, realistic. I feel like I'm never actually prepared, so sorry. Let me just get on my darning needle, whatever the heck you call this, yarn needle, whatever, get everything in order. So let's start with talking about like my expectations before we get into the reality of how this month has been. But honestly, my expectations were too high. We'll just say that straight up. But I kind of imagined that this month, like based on how my last month was, I thought that this month would be a month where I kind of got everything together and I just like was back in my routines, doing my morning routine, getting up early, being productive, like keeping my house spotless and just, you know, having it all together. I've been prepping and planning for Vlogmas, if you haven't figured that out already. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have like so much prepped and just gonna be on top of things, like not gonna be stressing at all. Everything's gonna be great. Yeah, that was my expectations for myself. Instead, I feel like it was kind of the opposite. Maybe that's a little dramatic, like maybe it wasn't the complete opposite, but life really knows how to humble you and just kind of like wake you up and be like, hey, actually no, it's not what's happening. You're not gonna do that. Let's actually throw a couple curveballs at you that you weren't expecting and see how you do with it. Yeah, so let's just say that it did not go to plan. I did not accomplish all the goals I thought I was going to have, where I got really into my routines and had my whole life together and was having the perfect work-life balance or anything like that. No, none of that actually happened. I hope it doesn't bother you guys that I'm like not making eye contact with you. I don't enjoy making eye contact to begin with, so this is my perfect excuse not to have to make eye contact. Can you guys hear this thing bubbling? Because that's all I can hear. I just want you to know that's all I hear, and I hope that the microphone picked up on that, because if not, that's embarrassing for me. When I'm sitting down to film this right now, it's like mid-November, so when I say the last month, I mean like mid-October to now, I guess. So like, we'll just say like the last month and a half if you guys need clarity, because this is not coming out for like probably another week. But basically, I feel like this past month has been filled with like, I don't want to say heaviness, but just like a lot of commotion, like just a lot of stuff going on. A little bit of heaviness, like but it's been draining physically, mentally, everything. It's been a little bit draining, but again, like I know it could be worse. I just feel like I need to give you guys like a little bit of background so you can kind of understand like whatever, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how to like tiptoe the line of giving you information so that things make sense, but not like sharing everything that I don't want to share right now. So bear with me as I'm literally trying to collect my spots. Trying to collect my thoughts on the spot. Okay, anyways, basically this past month was just not the month I expected to have, and that was really hard for me to accept because I had all of these expectations, and frankly my expectations were way too high for myself for this past month of what all I was going to accomplish. But I just kind of had to like almost mourn the loss of the month I thought I was going to have. That sounds so dramatic, but I just had so many expectations, and I just thought I was going to just get so much done and really grow myself into feeling better in my life currently and everything, and I just felt like I failed at that. But looking back on it, I do feel like I've like grown in this past month. I've had a lot of introspective thinking and kind of like thinking about, I don't want to get all philosophical, but like what is life really about and why are we here? Like, I don't know, just thinking way too much over something that probably shouldn't make me think this much, but that's just how I am. I just overthink everything, if you don't already know that about me. When everything started falling apart and not going to how I planned in my brain, I just felt like I was failing at getting my life together. But in the end, I'm now looking back and seeing that really like life just happens. You can't really choose what's gonna happen, how it's gonna happen. You just need to like go day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, and just like do what you can in that moment. But you can't predict what it's going to be like in a month, and you can't predict what it's going to be like in a week. You can't even predict what's going to happen tomorrow. Like you just have to, you know, you could have your overarching plan and goals, but you have to accept that things could go haywire. Is that the word? I don't know. Things could go awry, and you might not get to accomplish those goals, or you might not get to do the things that you plan to do because a roadblock happens or something else happens, and it all happens for a reason. You just have to kind of accept that. And I still struggle with this because I'm a planner. I like to have goals and aspirations, and I tend to set plans that are not realistic. So I guess I've learned how to be a little bit more gentle with myself this month, which is good. And we'll get into that in more detail maybe later if my brain remembers to come back to that thought. But I kind of want to talk about a little bit about why my past month has been a little bit chaotic. Let's just get into that next, if I can figure out how to word it without sounding dramatic, but also not giving out so much information. So basically the main roadblock that occurred in this last month involves me ending up going to the ER and being admitted to the hospital. Well, I was admitted to the clinical decision unit is what it's called. And basically this was Halloween that night and the next day. And I don't really want to get into like the whole details of what's going on yet, just because I don't really know exactly what's going on. Like obviously they have thoughts or whatever, but I don't know exactly what's going on. And I was having symptoms for like 2 weeks before that. I just couldn't get, not that I couldn't get myself to go, but I waited until I was done working for the week because I, you know, put work in my patients' above myself sometimes, and I was worried about how would, like, I don't know, there was no one to cover, who was going to see my patients, whatever. So I knew I was having symptoms. I knew that they weren't a medical emergency, so I decided to wait until after I was done with the work week to go to the ER, because I was worried about, like, what if I get admitted, whatever, which I did get admitted. So good thing I did wait till the end of the week, because I would have not only had to, like, be exhausted, but I probably would have missed a day of work too. So I know this sounds crazy, but, like, just know I knew it wasn't a medical emergency, so I was like, okay, it's not important enough to miss work. This sounds terrible coming out, but yeah, I have medical knowledge, so I had things going through my brain of what I thought was going on. And either way, I was like, this is not a medical emergency. It just is what it is. So basically, still don't know exactly what's going on, but I will be, like, following up obviously with medical people in the future. And just because I feel like I need to say this, I am okay. Things are improving. Yeah, I just don't really have straightforward answers right now, so I don't really want to share, like, all the details of it right now, but maybe I will in the future if I get answers and want to share it. We'll see, whatever I feel comfortable with in the future. But basically it forced me to have to slow down. I mean, don't recommend getting self-care by having to go to the ER, but it forced me to literally, like, do nothing. But it also was terrible because I got, like, no sleep. If you ever try to sleep in a hospital where they're, like, waking you up and checking things and taking blood from you and doing all sorts of things, it's not very relaxing. I did not sleep very well. Yeah, but I basically wasn't able to do anything, and I kind of just had to, like, sit there in my thoughts. I did try to crochet a little bit. If you saw my video of me randomly picking crochet projects, I made, like, those fingerless mittens. I also made this fidget, which I feel like I'm never gonna forget this fidget as the fidget that I basically made in the ER and in the hospital, because I did a lot of it while I was there waiting. But it's actually really hard to crochet with an IV in your arm. It's just really uncomfortable. So I don't know what I was thinking, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be crocheting away with my IV. No, not very comfortable. But I did work on that while I was there. So that's my little hospital fidget, I guess. That's what my brain's gonna probably remember it as forever. But yeah, I had a lot of time to just, like, be in my thoughts. I was exhausted. By the next morning I was hungry because I was on NPO, which, if you don't know what that means, like, I couldn't have food or anything to drink or whatever. So, like, I was exhausted, I was hungry, so I was just, like, not well. I was getting, like, sensory issues from the IV in my arm, and I was very, like, dysregulated because of that. But it was just, you know, not a fun time. Don't recommend. But basically I had too much time in my brain, and I was just kind of, like, going through waves of, like, crying randomly. Like, there were, like, 2 times where I just, like, you know, crying randomly, which I don't, like, cry too often. But when I do, it's, like, usually intense. But yeah, I just didn't know what else to do. I was just kind of, like, I don't know. I think I was, 1, dysregulated, and 2, like, going back and forth between, like, what if it's this? What if it's this? What does this mean? You know, kind of thing. And I just really started kind of diving into my thoughts a lot, and just realizing, like, it just really opened my eyes of, like, is it really worth it to, like, not take care of myself and to be so stressed and to just, I don't know. I just realized, like, I need to make some changes in my life. And I don't mean, like, making my life perfect. Like I said, I wanted to, you know, perfect routines, perfect this, perfect that. But it's like, I do need to take care of myself more, and I do need to find ways to decrease my stress. And I just feel like it really made me, like, open my eyes to that thing. Like, I knew that, but, like, this really pushed me to be like, okay, like, you need to get it together. Like, you need to take care of yourself in whatever way that means, but you need to figure out a way to take care of yourself. And my boyfriend was incredibly supportive this night. He is the one who, like, drove me to the ER and, like, stayed with me. And I was also disappointed this night because we were going to pass out candy for the first time together, and we weren't able to do that, so I was, like, upset about that. So there's just, like, a lot of things happening. And then with, like, all the things I had going on, like symptom wise. Like his head was spiraling one way, like we were both kind of like, okay, like it really does seem like this is going on, but again, don't know. So we both kind of just had like, I don't know, he kept me calm but also was being realistic. Hey, like also affirming like we gotta take care of ourselves, we gotta be healthy, we gotta do this, like, just making, like, I can't speak for him, but like opening my eyes to like how important it is to not take for granted what you have and take care of like the body you were given and things like that. But with all that to say, I just feel like this has been like an emotional up and down, but this whole experience kind of like shifted something in me that made me realize like showing up for yourself is not about perfection. And I still fight that perfectionist person in the back of my head. Like, it can already like I can feel that, like not feeling super comfortable to even say like it's not about perfection, but deep down I know it's really not. It's about caring for yourself and being patient with yourself and just being honest with yourself of like, can I handle this that I'm putting on myself? Can I handle this pressure? And the answer is probably no. Some days it might be yes, but the answer a lot of times for me at least is like no. And I have no problem with making my, I'm not gonna call them stupid, but like my stupid little giant to-do lists that are probably really overwhelming, as long as I'm okay with knowing it's not all gonna get done. This is like a giant list to work from, but we're not gonna get it all done. We're just gonna do what things I want to do on there or what things are important to do on there and not expect that I'm going to get everything done. But I just feel like I needed to like explain a little bit of what's been going on without giving too much detail. So I'm sorry if I confuse people, but I just wanted you to know that there's been some things going on. I'm trying to just not move on from them, but not let them like impact this, because this is something that like I really enjoy doing and I don't want to, I'm just not ready to like share it all right now, but I still want to like cue you guys in a little bit, because I feel like if I don't, then I just feel like I'm being fake, like, oh yeah, nothing ever happened, like everything's great, everything's good, like I'm not stressing, like, oh, life is perfect, like I got everything together. Like, no. I feel like I need to be honest and just be like, hey, I had all these expectations, life got derailed, we're here now, and this is how I'm showing up for myself. Just, I'm still showing up for myself. I just kind of like switch to the framework of it. Like, I'm looking at it from a different perspective, not from the perspective of showing up for myself equals being perfect. So I want to get into the next part, which I literally have weaved in one end this whole time, so I need to do this while I talk. But I want to get into like the main part of this, which is how I've been showing up for myself. And the way that I've been showing up for myself is not going to be like rainbows and butterflies and aesthetic and perfection. Like, that's the narrative I'm trying to get away from. So I'm gonna kind of talk about some like small little things that all come together to show like how I'm showing up for myself. And the first thing on this list of how I'm showing up for myself is making my bed in the morning. I'll say it's probably not every single morning. Like right now my bed's not made, but it's most mornings that I've been making my bed when I get up before I leave for the day. And this is kind of just like a little, almost like a little act of kindness to myself, because I know that it gives me kind of a clearer head, and when I come home from the day, I don't walk into my room, like it looks a little less messy because there's not like pillows everywhere and like whatever. It's just that little bit that pulls my life together just a little bit more. Plus it's a little bit of like a ritual routine that kind of helps set up my day. Let's make the bed, let's get the day started, like let's get in this productive mood. I don't know, it just brightens my day up a little bit, as silly as it sounds, like this little task. And sometimes people say like this is not something that has any effect on them, it's not been any of their habits, but this has been a habit like that I've had since childhood, so I just feel like it's part of what I need for my routines in the morning that helps me show up for myself. Okay, I've been yapping too much, so the camera turned off. The next thing I have on my list of ways that I'm showing up for myself is that, if you don't already know, like on the weekends I tend to, it's usually like my Saturdays that I spend doing like my cleaning of my apartment and things like that. And I have like this great long cleaning list that I kind of use every single weekend, and I like had the expectation that most weekends I would get that whole list done. And it's basically like a whole deep clean, like not extreme deep clean to the point where it's like spring cleaning every week, but it's a decent cleaning list. And I've decided that not every week, at least in this chapter of my life, needs to be that much of cleaning like every weekend. So what I've been doing is I've been kind of taking that list and picking out the things that are like the most important to be done and doing those things. And what I hope to do in the future is kind of like break down a couple of like the smaller things to be done like throughout the week too. Right now in this chapter of my life, that is not happening because I'm just really busy between work and like bringing work home, and then also trying to get all this Vlogmas stuff prepped for next month. Like it's just a little bit too busy right now to start that habit, which I'm okay with. Like it's not, my apartment is in no means like gross, dirty, you know what I mean? But it's not spotless either. Like it's not aesthetic, whatever. Like it is what it is. But that's not even reality. Unless like I literally like was home all the time, you know, then even that sometimes is hard because some people are home but they're also, you know, watching their kids or whatever. But my point is like it's not possible to have it be like spotless in here with this current chapter of my life, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that right now, and I hope that I continue to be okay with that because it's working for me right now to like not expect perfection with that. And this is actually later on my list, but I feel like this like rolls into this really well, which is that I've been really prioritizing making my weekends for me. So that can be broken down into like a couple thoughts. Like I've been trying to prioritize using my weekends to crochet and do things for YouTube because those are things that bring me joy and things that bring me energy. Like those energize me, like they're not exhausting. I have so much fun doing it. I don't know, it recharges my battery, if you want to say it that way. With this, I've been trying to like minimize how much work I do on the weekend. Like obviously like I have to get my notes done, so I try to get those done, and then I'm trying to either do like no prep, which never happens, or like minimal prep. Like try to like set a timer. Okay, you have an hour, see what you can get done, and hopefully I get what I need to get done. Some weekends I will go over that hour if I feel like I'm not at a minimal prep state, but I've been really trying to just like, okay, like let's cut it off. Weekend's not for work, but I still do like have to do my notes because those like need to get done. But it's all depending on how like busy my week was or whatever. I feel like at my job Fridays tend to be pretty busy, so it's almost every weekend that I have to bring notes home. But yeah, that's just current phase of my life. I just keep saying that. Current phase of my life. I don't know. We got 2 ends weaved in. We are doing great. We are doing wonderful. Gotta figure out how I'm weaving in the ends on this part. The next thing on my list is I've been trying to be a little more intentional, I struggle to say that word sometimes, intentional about my nutrition. Like I know I was having like lots of stomach issues, which is like, I have like a mild gastroparesis kind of thing going on, but I kind of switched my diet completely, and I did go like really carb heavy, I would say, because that is like what my stomach does the best with, but I know it's not like the most nutritious, but that is what I found that I feel the best with, besides maybe like energy wise. I don't know. I feel like I feel way better having mostly carbs than I did when I was eating like healthy, if that makes sense. And I have less issues with the stomach stuff. I've also been like maintaining weight or even like gaining weight, so that's good because that was something I was struggling with. But I've been more intentional about trying to increase my protein because that is something that I just know that I struggle with, and I know it's important to keep up like my muscle mass and things like that. So I have been trying to add more protein into my meals, and I also like have just like I've been a little more lax on my grocery shopping, if that makes sense. I was being pretty strict because I've had like these financial goals and things, so I've been pretty strict on like how much I'm spending on groceries, but I've decided that with all like the chaos of life and work and everything, that it's sometimes worth it to pay a little bit more for convenience, and that ensures that I'm gonna like get in the protein I need and things like that. So I have been getting like pre-cooked or pre-made like chicken and meat and stuff like that to make sure that I'm getting in more protein. And I'm not by any means saying I'm like eating like super healthy, because I'm also like allowing myself to get some more frozen things that I know are going to be like quicker, so that I'm eating more than just like plain pasta or like something not very nutritious. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's one way I'm showing up for myself, taking care of myself, and making sure that I'm getting enough nutrients. Another thing that I'm going to put in this little section too is that I've been doing weekly dinners at my parents' house. So this has been really nice. It's allowed me to like catch up with them basically on a weekly basis. I tend to be like a homebody, and like literally I go to work, come home, and I never want to leave my house. So even though my parents don't live far, I never really made it a priority to go see them and whatnot. So then it would get to be like all this time that I haven't seen them. So I've been doing weekly dinners with them, and that's been nice. We can kind of catch up on things. I can rant about life and whatever, and I've just been trying to like spend a little bit more quality time with them. But yeah, that's been one new thing, and that's something I'm really going to try to keep up with. I know it's going to get a little hard like in the winter, because I get stressed driving in snow and my car isn't the best in snow. So they live in an area where it might be difficult for me to get to their house and whatnot, but I'm gonna try to keep that up as long as I can. And I don't know, I just feel like it is really, it's, even though I'm such like a loner type person, I feel like family is different, and I never feel like I have to like not be myself around my family, so it's not like exhausting for me. And I think it's a good thing for me to make sure I'm spending some time around people, especially because I was like really struggling for a bit there. And yeah, I just feel like I know that it's a good thing for me, so I really want to keep up with that, and hopefully the weather allows me to keep up with it as much as I would like to. There's some other stuff going on like behind the scenes too that I'm doing to like work on myself and better myself and whatnot. That's something that I will keep private as well. But another thing I guess I could share with you guys too, I never know if you guys like care about certain things, but this is another thing that's like important in my life, is like I said, I was working on like those financial type things, and I've been really focused on getting my loans paid down. And one really exciting thing, which I've made even more progress since reaching this milestone, but I have a lot of like federal student loans, but I only had 2 private student loans coming out of school. I went to undergrad for exercise science, and then I went to DPT school to become a physical therapist. So I came out with some chunky loans, and I came out with 2 private student loans. I paid off one of them, and I've been working on the second one. And I'm happy to say that my second private student loan is officially below $10,000, which is really exciting. It's even lower than that now. I actually kind of want to tell you guys what the balance is, if I can pull it up on my phone maybe, because I know it's even lower now, and I'm excited because I've made more progress than expected. So I think I'm going to be like reaching my goal sooner than I originally planned. Sorry, I ran out of storage. I had to delete stuff off, so sorry if the camera angle changed at all. I don't even remember what the heck I was talking about. Oh, I was talking about my student loan progress. So yeah, my original goal was to try to have the loan paid off by the time my boyfriend graduates, which is in May 2026, so next year of May. And when I originally set that goal, I was kind of like, I think this goal might be not realistic. And I basically like said to myself, like, that's like my stretch goal, I guess, if you want to call it, like a goal I didn't think I was probably going to be able to meet, but I knew I could pay it off by the time I turned 26, which is in July. So I was like, even if I don't get it by then, I'll definitely get it by July. And now I think I might be able to actually hit that goal before May, which is like really exciting, because when I first said it, I was like, oh, this is like an impossible goal. And now it's like becoming reality, and I might even reach it before I originally planned, which is really cool. And my next financial goal after that is actually going to be to save money to put down on a new car. I was going back and forth on whether or not I was going to save and pay cash for a car, or get a car payment, which I really didn't want to do. But after I pay off this one loan, that will free up a little bit more, like minimum monthly payments. So I think I'll feel a little bit better about it. And I know I can afford it right now, so I decided that I'm just gonna go ahead and do that so that I have a safer car to drive in the winter and have my own official car, because the car I drive now is actually not in my name. It's my parents that they like gave me for a birthday gift. Or not, like, it's the only car I've ever driven. So I'm excited to actually have my own car. So if I get that loan paid off sooner than expected, that means I can save up money sooner to buy a car sooner, or to like have more money to put on the down payment of the car or whatnot. So that's really exciting, and I look forward to hitting those milestones. Oh yeah, I was also going to show you guys, or tell you guys how much I had left on the loan. So let me look real quick. I've already made probably most of my payments for this month, but I might be able to make one additional like smaller payment towards the end of this month. So like by the time this video comes out, probably would have made one, or soon after that. But currently my loan is at, it's like a little bit over $8,200. So I've made even more progress since hitting that goal. So that's really exciting. And yeah, it's just like I'm getting closer to that finish line with it. So it's getting really exciting. And I can't wait to have it paid off and then be able to officially say I have no private student loans left. That's gonna be so exciting. I can't wait. It literally takes so long to weave in ends. This is crazy. So yeah, basically those are the ways I could think of right now of how I'm like showing up for myself, how I'm growing as a person right now, and continuing to take care of myself even when life is tough or hard, or there's stuff going on or whatnot. I feel like these are good ways to continue to show up for myself. Might not look exactly how I expected, and might not be like quote unquote perfect productivity or whatnot, but I'm definitely still doing the things I want to do. It just might be a little bit slower, might not be as much progress in some areas, but I've definitely done a lot of like internal growth and work during this time, and just thought a lot about like life and what's it all about and what is worth it. And I don't know, I've been thinking a little bit too much, having a little bit of a life crisis, but in a good way, I guess. I feel like I've only really had one other time where I had like I was calling it my quarter life crisis, but I don't know. But that was like when one of my family members passed away, and it like sent me down a weird life introspective spiral. Like, what is my life? What do I want it to look like? This, and this. And it made me start making changes in my life to like better myself and get closer to the future that I wanted, because it really opened my eyes and made me realize like what I wanted in the future. And I feel like for some reason I'm having another one of those moments, and I don't know if it's because of like medical stuff the medical stuff I've had going on lately or what, because like I just made me realize like you don't know what the heck is the future. You don't know whatever, and like either way, whatever they decide is going on, I know that taking care of myself is important, and like stress is not going to help either of these things. So it's just important that I take care of myself, and this is how I'm doing it right now. This month taught me that being someone I can rely on is not about being perfect or having this flawless routine. It's about being gentle with myself when life is hard or when I'm struggling. I guess it's about noticing and giving myself credit for those small wins rather than focusing on the things that I didn't accomplish or didn't get done. It's also about making sure I don't give up when times get hard, and you know, I give myself grace, but I also don't want to completely stop doing everything. Like, I want to keep pushing and keep going even when times get hard. And honestly, this month taught me that I am showing up for myself. It just doesn't look the same in every season of your life. It's in less of a perfect, aesthetic, routine, got everything together type of way, and more of a, this is real life, this is reality, not everything's perfect, and everybody's just doing their best kind of way. And I hesitate to even say this because there's still that part of my brain that wants to fight it, but I am proud of where my life is right now. See, I'm fighting myself. Why can't I just tell myself I'm proud? Let me say that in a way that convinces not only you, but myself, hopefully. Why can't I say it? We don't all have it together, and we're all just taking care of ourselves in the way we can. We're all doing our best. And I want to say that I am proud of that, but I don't know why I hesitate so much to try to say that. But I'm working on being proud of that and being proud of the fact that I am where I am and I am still showing up for myself. I'm proud that I haven't given up. I'm proud of that. But I guess I don't know. I can't just say that I'm proud of where I am right now and what my life is, because there are things that I want to keep working on, but I think that is just how life is, you know. We're never going to be maybe 100% happy with where we are, and I think that's important, that we're not just like stagnant and just be like, oh, yep, this is it. Like, we should keep working on ourselves and trying to better ourselves and trying to better our environment and continue to make sure that the environment we're in and the space that we're in and everything is the best for us and the healthiest for us and what is going to allow us to continue to grow as human beings. I feel like I just got a little more deep than I planned on. I continue to go back to those comfort things like listening to music. Maybe it doesn't look like Noah Kahan right now, but I moved on to other music that I'm hyper focused on. One thing about me is that I'll listen to like the same, either one song or like 10 to 15 songs. Like, usually I'm either repeating one song or I have a playlist of songs that I'm repeating at once that I'm currently focusing on. But I still go back to music. Music is something that calms me, brings me comfort. I don't know why, if it's because I like grew up around music, listening to different types of music, family members that play musical instruments and things like that, but it is very like calming for me. And I don't know, I just went down a spiral about music, but that's one thing that is still bringing me comfort. We also have the crochet that is bringing me comfort. Honestly, like, just sitting down and doing these videos is a little bit therapeutic to me, and also in general, just any of my crochet videos like that, like I said, really, it relaxes me, but it also like energizes me at the same time. I don't know how else to explain that. Spending time with my boyfriend, even if that isn't as much time as I would hope right now in this phase of our life, is very comforting. I will say a million times that he's like the most stable part of my life right now and the most calming, and I just couldn't be more grateful to have him. And yeah, there are a lot of good things going on in my life right now. We just had a little bit of a hiccup this past month, and I think it was a good learning lesson for me, and it shows the importance of taking care of myself and that life is not going to be perfect. I think that's the moral of the story, is that we can't expect perfection because we're going to fail every time then. That was straight off the noggin. Don't know where it came from. I'm sure somebody else has said that and has their name underneath of it already. But so going into next month, I hope that I continue to show up for myself in whatever way that looks like. I'm not going to be putting pressure on myself to randomly become perfect, because that's just not reasonable. Maybe next month I'll come back and feel even more grounded and like I'm finding new routines and everything. But even if I don't, that's okay. Like, again, I don't want to put pressure on myself. I have a big month coming up next month, and if you don't know, I love to procrastinate, and I did set an unrealistic plan. Who would have ever guessed? To try to have basically the majority of my Vlogmas footage prepped ahead of time, because I'm attempting to post a video every single day of December until Christmas while working a full-time job. And since I do work a full-time job, I can't actually do it the traditional way of vlogging a day, posting the next day or whatnot. So I have been prepping some things that I can and working on some vlog style footage to edit together and things like that. So I'm a little bit more behind than I expected to be when I planned this out months ago, but I'm also like more ahead than I could be. So I should be proud of myself for that. Thank you all so much for spending this time with me while I probably yapped your ear off about who knows what, but I hope you got something out of it. And I guess like the main thing is we need to stop putting so much pressure for perfection and know that everybody's version of showing up for themselves looks different because everybody's dealing with different things and has different things going on in their life that may be good or bad. So we can't really compare ourselves. We shouldn't compare ourselves in any way because you don't know what else somebody has going on in their life. But I'm gonna stop yapping your ear off. We got like 3-4 ends weaved in this whole time. I don't know why I expected I was going to be able to multitask and think through all those complex things while also weaving in ends, but 4 ends is better than no ends, so I'll be happy with that progress for now. If you guys did enjoy this video, then make sure you give it a thumbs up. Also comment down below what things you do that bring you comfort or ground you, or things that you do to try to help take care of yourself. I'm curious to know what things you guys do. I have some exciting Vlogmas content coming soon, plus next week will be a baby blanket video update, so you guys can see what I have going on with that as well. But if you guys do decide to stick around and subscribe, then I'll see you in my next video. Bye!